Well, happy Wednesday to you. I am at the other end of Little England here. You see, you can't tell that I'm very proud of my little creation here. So I'm at the other end of it. So I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. I've got magpies singing in the background here. I think the youngsters are out. A couple of things I was going to talk about today that I was thinking about over the long weekend. First one is this notion of spatial. I've read a couple of articles and posts on LinkedIn around the fact that Apple are now going to define spatial computing, and that term spatial, lots of people don't understand it. They're going to define it themselves. There are a couple of articles talking about the fact that we'll see much more about spatial, and I strongly believe that. So spatial, watch out for spatial and how much there's spoken about it and where Apple take that term to. It's very interesting. Geospatial sits in the same place, very poorly understood. So geospatial, remember, sits under spatial. So that's the first thing I was going to talk about. The second thing is this notion of invisible computing, and I've spoken, in my last talk I spoke about ChatGPT and GeoChatGPT, the magic of generative AI, and asking a geospatial question or a spatial question and getting the complexity hidden from you and an answer spat out. And I often use remote site selection as a good example of that. Tell me where the best Starbucks locations are in Salt Lake to build a new one, and magically out of the blue a map appears, or whatever the output is that shows those best locations. So that's the first one. The second one of these, the Vision Pro glasses, and the other organizations that are doing this. This term invisible computing is a big deal, I think. And again, there's articles being written about this now. We're taking the computer away from the PC, what I'm talking to you on here, a phone, and actually putting it in our eyes. So I can imagine a world that's not too far away where we're looking at things. Again, that's a spatial component. We're getting answers back about the things that we're looking at. And if you think about Alexa and these other systems where we can talk to the computer and we get simple things back, like, play a certain song or answer a particular question, let's get much more complicated than that. Let's ask the questions of this headset, and magically that all happens in the background as well. It's understood, all of this stuff happens. So invisible computers is where we're heading to. Why spatial? Why geospatial? It's because we're looking at things all the time, and we are now enhancing our experience, augmenting our experience with this invisible computer. So what our brains understand, we add to. Instead of having to go to a computer and look it up in Google or do all these other things, it's all there for us. So we're really connecting much more closely to the computer. And yes, because it's glasses that's the interface and generative AI that's doing some of the clever work in the background, it's all spatial. It's all part of our world. So we're not a million miles away from this. I will say there's work going on in generative AI, there's work going on in this augmented reality world. That's not too far away. So I set the stage for what I think is really an interesting future that we're heading towards. So that's it. That's the Wednesday talk. I always say, tell me what you think. If it's on LinkedIn, follow me, or it's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, please feel free to follow me. I do lots of this all the time. So thanks for watching. I'll do another one soon.